What's good, people? CJ Williams checking in with another one for the soldiers out there. No Limit Records had a relentless release schedule and a roster as deep as an NFL team. Unfortunately for some artists, the Tank's run began to slow down before their albums could see the light of day. For this list, we'll rank the albums that were announced, album covers teased to be coming soon, but never released, in order of anticipation. Now with that out of the way, let's get to it. Discovered by P while singing the national anthem at a Lakers game, Erica Fox will be tapped for C Murder's lead single for his Trapped in Crime album. She made forgettable appearances on Master P's Ghetto Postage, Mr. Marcello's Brick Livin', and Silk's My World My Way. This project comes in last not because of talent, but more so her being late to the No Limit party as things were cooling off by the time we got to truly hear her. Making his first No Limit appearance on True's double album The Crime Family, Calio Popeye would appear on a few albums in the 9-9 while prepping for an April 2000 release date for his debut Edge of My Life. Well, the first spring of the millennium came and went with no new album in sight. He would make his last appearance with the Tank on C Murder's Trapped in Crime before rejoining P for a short-lived No Limit Forever run. Unfortunately, Popeye would pass away in 2021. Rest in peace. Despite holding his own on the TRU The Crime Family song Never, we wouldn't hear any more verses from the youngster Baby Soulja. For No Limit fans who are familiar with Hot Boy Jimmy, that's P's cousin, this is his son. So while he did give us a dope verse, an album cover, and that coveted coming soon stamp, no other music would release from Baby Soulja on the Tank, not even a 16. Hoping lightning would strike twice with R&B ladies named after luxury cars, A-Lexxus followed in Mercedes' footsteps with her teased 2000 release Let's Ride. They even had almost identical album covers. But as you know by her being on this list, we never received the project. We've got her near the bottom simply because the lack of output while she was on the Tank. Sure, she was featured heavily on Mercedes' album, but outside of that, it was quiet. Now she would end up releasing a song with Dash Dillinger that is on streaming sites called Lovin' Me that's pretty dope, so there definitely was promise. The go-to hook singer on No Limit in the late 1990s, Miss Peaches had been featured on countless memorable records. If you checked out an album between 96 to 2000, there's a 99% chance you've heard her voice. Relegated mostly to choruses, her biggest one came courtesy of Little Romeo's lead single, My Baby. She would leave the label shortly after due to money disputes regarding that record, abandoning her yet-to-be-released Ghetto Angel album. While she did her thing on hooks, it's hard to tell how a full album from the Baton Rouge singer would have fared, but at least it would have been nice for her to get some much-deserved solo shine. Full Blooded had several guest appearances on No Limit and dropped his own solo album Memorial Day in 1998. On the album, he featured his group The Hounds from Gert Town, and soon after they had their project Blood and Passion teased to be on deck. It's not hard to imagine why we didn't receive this album, as Memorial Day was one of the least liked albums from their legendary 98 run and performed poorly commercially. Still, for the minority out there that rock with full solo like we did, we low-key looked forward to hearing what the group could have cooked up. There was a brief moment in the Tank's history where P was going to start up a No Limit East branch. Rapper Short Circuit was going to be one of the faces of said extension. First introduced as Freedom on the We Can't Be Stopped compilation, Short Circuit added a nice East Coast flow to a mostly down south Tank. Unfortunately, outside of Ghetto Postage and My World My Way features, we didn't hear much from Circuit. At least his kids got a chance to shine. Yep, the little soldiers, those were his little ones. It's crazy, right? Anyone remember the twins from No Limit? No, not them. Them. Yep, the female version of Cain and Abel, 2 for 1, had a very short run on the Tank, appearing on about 2 or 3 projects, notably Mac's No Limit classic Shell Shock. Not to be confused with Rap-A-Lot's Ghetto Twins, these ladies brought a different style that could have gave the Tank some much needed new female MC energy. Despite not getting much game time, they still had a project on deck. To no one's surprise, this one never saw the light of day. One of the few highlights on P's Ghetto Postage came courtesy of a feature on the track It Don't Get No Better from Black Felon. Formerly known as X-Con, bro made the most of his handful of features, with the standouts being 504 Boy's Enemies and C Murder CP3.com Do You Wanna Ride tracks. He would receive promo for his Back on the Block album coming soon, but it would be shelved so P could focus on getting Little Romeo's project going. After very solid appearances on C Murder's Trapped in Crime and Silk's My World My Way, Samm looked to be a potential diamond in the rough for the 2000s Tank. His solo got a title and cover, but things changed after a Houston conversation with P. When Samm inquired about his solo, the Colonel explained he was tied up with other ventures.
We had to talk. Like I was asking him, like, what's up? Am I here for nothing, or what's going on? And he just sat and he told me, like, look, man, I'm focused on me right now. This is around the time when Cash Money was on the rise, Beats by the Pound was going. He was focused on him. Hey, that told me everything I needed to hear.
Samm decided to focus on doing his own thing, leaving his Enemy of the Street project floating in No Limit purgatory. That's too bad, because with his relationship with Mac and C Murder, we certainly would have gotten features from them. This project would have shaped up nicely. If you purchase C Murder's CP3.com album, then you know two things to be true. One, the follow-up Nickel album was teased in that insert, and two, you understand why C's fifth album is lower on this list, as CP3 was definitely a step in the wrong direction for the Miller brother. Only a few joints were recorded for Nickel before his well-publicized incident in January 2002 that led to his conviction and life sentence. Teased to have features from Currency, Mr. Marcello, and Soulja Slim, a few songs were allegedly released on C's True Dogs compilation if you want to check that out on YouTube. Easily the most anticipated R&B album from No Limit, Porsha is one of several albums to actually get a date and still not drop. July 20th, 1999 was supposed to see the release of the self-titled debut. Fans of the Tank remember her standout appearances on the Gambino Family, Mean Green compilation, and Bossellini, just to name a few. But the duet with Sons of Funk member Odell, titled Nothing Was the Same on the Foolish soundtrack, is easily a top 3 No Limit R&B song. Just one look at the stripped down album cover and you could feel more of those type vibes were on the way. That is, until they weren't. Talk about making the most out of your opportunities. QB was introduced via an interlude on C Murder's Life or Death debut in 1998. From there, he would have scene-stealing verses on projects from Gambino Family, Ghetto Commission, and again on C Murder's Bossellini. His project Ghetto Ingredients began to be promoted, with fans eagerly awaiting a date from the No Limit newcomer. Unfortunately, that day never came, as QB explained himself on an interview about that online. He never even got a chance to begin recording the album. It's a tough pill to swallow, but there's a strong chance many of these coming soon projects never even got off the ground. Salute About That Online though. Bro got interviews with many of the artists from the Tank. Go check out his channel to get dope No Limit stories straight from the artist's mouths. April 4th, 2000 was the intended release date for the most anticipated rapper of the new class. D.I.G signed with P at just 17 years old and was introduced on disc 2 of True's The Crime Family. He would show up and show out on joints from Magic's Thuggin' and Max World War III projects, but his big moment came courtesy of the lead single from P's return to rap. D.I.G was the first voice you heard on the Colonel's comeback record Step to This, and was featured on 4 total records from Only God Can Judge Me, giving fans hope that his Afterlife solo album would soon follow. Unfortunately for us, that never happened, but D.I.G would stay on past the 2000, making his last appearance on Crazy's Breather Life album in 01. Many may not recall there was a True album titled The Miller Boys that was supposed to drop in 2001, featuring the 3 siblings. Well, allegedly C and P didn't see eye to eye on the direction of the project, with Master P wanting to commercialize the sound more. So even though C Murder would get caught up in his murder charge only a few months later, we likely wouldn't have seen the finished product of this True album anyway. P would circle back and drop a True album in 2005, with the rapper Hallelujah replacing C Murder. There's no need for you to go and check that out if you haven't already. Before we get to our top 5 unreleased albums from No Limit, we gotta shout out the sponsor for this video, fallsnow.shop. They've got dope heavyweight tees featuring some of your favorite TV characters, but with that throwback 90s design. Hit up fallsnow.shop, link is in the description, and use promo code Theory15 to get 15% off your order. Alright, now back to the list. One of the few soldiers to have multiple false start release dates, Mia X's Sister Stories was teased once in November of 99, then again in August of 2001. The initial pushback was due to the unfortunate passing of both of her parents in 99. Understandably, she took time off from music to grieve, planning a comeback for 01. Well, by then there wasn't much gas left in the tank, and most of the members Mia grew up with had basically left, including her #1 producer KLC. Mia decided to step away from the mic for good, shelving her long anticipated 4th album. Teased in 1999 with the Thanksgiving time release date, one of the most popular soldiers, Mystikal, had his 3rd No Limit project locked and loaded. But like so many other 1999 release dates, this album never saw the light of day. Well, actually it kinda did. Mystikal would leave No Limit and sign exclusively with Jive Records to drop Let's Get Ready in 2000. Now, how much of this material came from the original album? Who knows, but there are a few tracks produced by Beats by the Pound frontman KLC that made the album, so it's possible those came out of the No Limit sessions. The gamble to leave paid off, as the album sold 350,000 its first week, making Mystikal arguably the most successful post-No Limit artist in the label's history. Speaking of KLC, the legendary legendary producer had a compilation that would have made every No Limit fan's wish list, as his project Hits by the Pound was slated for a winter '99 release. Not much is known about the details of the album, but it's safe to assume we would have gotten new tracks entirely produced by KL with everyone and their mama featured. We can also assume, based on his output over the years, before and after No Limit, that it would have been complete flames. In 2021, KL would finally release a debut project, The Drum Major, which boasted features from a handful of familiar faces like Mia X, Fiend, Mr. Servon, and even, rest in peace, Soulja Slim. The sequel to the super popular 1995 compilation, Down South Hustlers 2 Making Moves, is one of the most infamous unreleased albums. Teased for what seemed like an eternity, the only other project to have such a wait time was Mercedes' Rear End album. Well, when that album finally released, it gave fans hope that Down South Hustlers wouldn't be far behind. Oh, but it was. So far that it never came out. A quick YouTube search for the album will show what is allegedly the original project, although some comments say otherwise, but feel free to check it out and come to your own conclusion. This was the obvious number one, right? The second we saw the album cover featuring a No Limit dream team of Fiend, Mystikal, C-Murder, Mac, and Snoop, the countdown was set. This is the type of album you lay your outfit on the bed for like it's the first day of school. The album sounded too good to be true, and by the looks of it, that was exactly the case. Now, Day One fans will remember the original album cover didn't include Mystikal, but this edition really should have clued us in that there was no way that this was going to happen. But according to reports, P, Fiend, and C-Murder have confirmed that the album was recorded and does exist. So for anyone out there that has info on the number one most wanted unreleased No Limit album of all time, please do the world a favor and drop that. Hey, put it up for sale, we'll cop, and it will go platinum in the CT studios if nowhere else. Hope you guys enjoyed this trip down memory lane. If you're new to the channel and are a retired No Limit soldier like ourselves, make sure you check out our playlist of other tank related content. Don't forget to use that Theory15 promo code at fallsnow.shop for 15% off your order. Until the next time, I'm CJ for CT. Peace.